Most of us interact with local government on a purely practical level. We expect them to pave the potholes, keep the streetlights on, and make sure the municipal water runs clean. But beneath that layer of basic maintenance, city councils and state governors are doing something much more complex. They are actively constructing the moral framework of a community, drawing invisible lines that define local values and boundaries. To build this framework, local leaders rely on two distinct tools: fiscal support, distributing public money, and symbolic support, distributing public attention. Because a town contains thousands of people with competing priorities, pulling either lever creates immediate friction between decision-makers and residents. Far from being neutral managers of civic utilities, mayors and city councils act as political engineers. They use budgets and calendars to sculpt exactly what a city stands for. Look at Coronado, California, to see how the fiscal lever operates on the ground. Recently, the local city council approved a budget allocating over $1.1 million in public funds. The money was designated to support a wide network of local nonprofit organizations operating within the city. The allocation quickly generated pushback from residents when they realized that some of these local groups also participate in active political advocacy. This bar chart shows the core of the debate, breaking down the $1.1 million allocation. When public money flows past standard community charity into groups advancing specific ideologies, the city budget stops being a ledger of expenses and becomes an explicit political endorsement. For taxpayers who oppose those specific causes, the policy feels extractive. They are legally required to pay into a municipal system that is actively funding priorities they disagree with. A municipal budget, therefore, is a financial declaration of what a city's leadership values most. Government influence doesn't always require a multi-million-dollar budget. State leaders in Utah recently demonstrated how the symbolic lever works. For years, the state's governor had historically acknowledged Pride Month, offering official recognition to the local LGBTQ community. That baseline shifted abruptly when the governor pivoted away from Pride, choosing instead to issue a proclamation promoting Fidelity Month. This visual tracks the civic calendar change. Executing this policy pivot required zero taxpayer dollars. The state simply swapped one recognition for another, using the weight of an official proclamation to redefine the month. Local activists argued that this specific administrative decision intentionally marginalizes LGBTQ residents by stripping away their public visibility. The civic calendar dictates who is formally recognized by the state. It costs nothing to update, yet carries heavy cultural weight, serving as a highly effective tool for inclusion or exclusion. Whether a city writes $1 million check in California or alters a calendar in Utah, local policy actively ranks community priorities, placing certain values above others. These fiscal and symbolic decisions restructure the social dynamics of a town. They erect invisible borders, dividing the population into groups who feel supported by their local government and those who feel left out. Endorsing one cultural movement or funding a specific advocacy group usually requires denying that space and money to someone else. Exclusion is an unavoidable byproduct of the process. This guarantees a constant friction between singular government leaders trying to establish a cohesive identity for a town and the deeply diverse interests of the people living in it. A truly neutral administrative government does not exist. Every zoning law, every municipal grant, and mayoral proclamation is an active act of cultural negotiation, continuously dictating who truly belongs in a community.